Yeah.
Okay. So this video there's going to be no editing. I'm just going to do it in one take, and the idea is to cover all of the basics in some form of detail without the video being an hour long. So let's see how long it is, but this should kind of help the general lifter who deadlifts, who finds some pain or something's not quite right at some point in this video. It might, you know, give you a solution. The first thing you're going to do, well, the three things I'm going to talk about is bar placement, form and stability of lifting through the bar. They're kind of the three areas. But when you're deadlifting, what you've got to realise is that you start from the ground and come up, and it all starts with the feet. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my shoes off. Now, you don't have to take your shoes off, but if you're wearing like these are old and knackered, but if you're wearing like a pair of Nike Airs, for instance, where you've got like an air bubble or like a running shoe, anything that's really soft and comfortable is going to be terrible for lifting because it's the stability through the floor. So the best way of explaining that is kind of like wear a pair of boxing gloves and try and bench press in it. You're not going to get a lot of feel through the bar, it's going to be unstable. So same thing, another analogy is to have the bar on your mattress and do it on your bed. You'd be all over the place. So let's get rid of the feet, the shoes. Converse, stuff like that is quite good because it's flat and solid. While we're on the subject, actually, you can get proper lifting shoes, and I've got some that I use for squats sometimes, but mine are slightly angled, which most of them are, which I would never use for deadlifting because you're putting yourself at an angle, so your heels are up, which is not going to be too good. So just go in socks or Converse, something like that, a cheap trainer. Bar placement, Christian, if you want to come over and look down from a bird's eye point of view. With bar path, I'm not going to talk about bar path too much because that's a separate video, but basically you want the path of the bar, which goes up and down, to be over the middle of your foot. So you approach the bar and so the middle of the foot is under the barbell like that. Now, before I start talking about this, there are different ways of deadlifting. There's sumo, there's snatch grip, there's deficit deadlifts, there's loads of deadlifts. We're going to talk about conventional because it's the most popular. So middle of the bar. Now, obviously you want your hands away from your legs, because if you've got your hands here and your legs there, your limbs are going to get in the way of each other, your knees are going to come in, it's not a good thing. So I'm going to go about there, that's my natural stance. Some are a little bit wider, some are a little bit narrower. I'm going to make sure my hands are clear of my legs. So that's the position, and I want this bar to travel in that line as I come up. Now, if we talk about form, come to the side, Christian. So Christian can try and get as sideline as possible. Forget my roundness back at the moment. At the moment, my back is rounded. This isn't going to help how I'm going to lift. Now, there's a few common things. The most common thing, which I'm sure I don't need to tell you about, is don't lift with a curved back. Because if your back is curved when you're lifting, as you lift, what's happening is when your back is curved, if you've got your vertebrae is doing this to bend your spine. It's designed to do that. But if you lift under load, you're lifting with added load, so weight, through your compressed vertebrae, which is where you get herniated discs and stuff like that. Very, very dangerous, so always have a straight back. So I'm going to use the phrase neutral back because that comes on to the next point. Straight back, people refer to as this. Straight back, look forward, dead up, like that. That is not how you lift. See how I want to fall backwards when I do that? Always get the feeling like you're going to fall backwards. If you lift like that, you're basically doing a squat, holding onto a weight in front of you, which inevitably makes your lower back hurt. So you don't squat the bar up. You don't have a curved back. You keep your back straight. You get over the bar and see how my shoulder is actually in front of my wrist. I'm actually over the bar. That's the position you want to be in. Your lats go tight, so your lats are engaged. So you've got the weight of this bar through your upper body, specifically your lats, they're nice and tight. And then from there, think leg press. So it's kind of like a push and a pull simultaneously. What you're not going to do is bend your elbow and yank the bar, because that comes to a pull. What you're going to do is keep your lats tight, engage them, and then leg press through, keeping the bar tight on that path. Come down. Lats tight, over the bar, not squatting, over the bar, lats tight, push through the floor, nice and solid. Again, lats tight, take the weight of the upper bar, arms are like pieces of rope with hooks, you don't want them bending, keep them there, lats tight, push through the floor. Now, Chris, if you're going to stand directly behind me, you see yourself in the mirror, This is where stability comes from. So if you're pushing through the floor and you're pushing through one side more than the other, if you've got any stability going on, then your hip is going to shift from one side to the other. And again, that is a common way of getting injured around here, because things go pop around this part. So if I was imbalanced and I lifted this bar, everything else is right from the side, but my stability is wrong, which is this, and I push 70% through here and 30% through here, I'm going to look like this, and I'm going to get a shift. And when you get a shift like that, the heavier the weight, the more risk that when you're shifting, you've got more weight on one side, pop, ping, I feel like I've slipped a disc. You haven't, you've just screwed a muscle up in here. So it's really important that when you're pushing through the floor, you think when you're on a leg press, you don't push through one leg more than the other, you keep it even and flat, which is exactly what you're going to do. Lats tight, stability means push through the floor equally, it comes up in a straight line. Your hips aren't shifting to one side or the other. If you can't help it and it's just happening all the time, regardless of how much you try, you've probably just got a weakness on one side, which other exercises can sort out. So take your shoes off, go in socks or a pair of Converse, cheap trainer that's got a solid sole, not something squidgy. The more comfortable the trainer or the footwear, generally the worse it is for you. Go over the bar, don't squat it. I'll show you a squat. If I squat it from the side, Christian, it means that I'm like this, and that feels absolutely disgusting. The heavier the weight that is, the more it's going to hurt my back. I even felt it a little bit then. Go over the bar. It's counterintuitive, but get over it. Lats, 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 lats. Keep the tension, keep the tension. Push the floor away from you. Don't lift the bar. Take the tension, push the floor away from you. And these are the basics. These are the basics. If you get these three things nailed, placement of the bar, form, so position over the bar, and stability, which is what you're doing through the floor, then you're going to be good. There are other tips and tricks, and I could go into more detail, but that would be boring. That's why you need to come and see me.